Meet Roma, a 39-year-old man whose life was filled with constant exploitation and harsh treatment from his employer. He endured overwork and mistreatment, surviving beatings from his parents and even a bottle smashed over his head by his boss. Despite his physical strength, he lived a life of quiet suffering. One night, Roma fell and hit his head while in bed. The injury caused a fatal brain bleeding, ending his life in a way he felt was pitiful and unfair. As he died, he thought about his life of suffering and regret. In another world, Roma meets three deities: Gain, the creator; Lusa, the goddess of love; and Kufo, the god of life. They tell him that while Earth is full of magic, their world, Sail Fall, is losing its magical energy. To fix this, they plan to reincarnate Roma into Sail Fall as an 8-year-old child. This new life will help bring magical energy from Earth to their world and restore its magic. The deities give Roma detailed instructions about his new identity and a cover story to explain where he comes from. They also have him sign a non-disclosure agreement to keep his reincarnation a secret. After these arrangements, they send his soul to Sail Fall, where he is reborn as a young boy. Ryoma, as he is now called, wakes up in a dense forest in the body of an 8-year-old. The gods have left him a manual and some supplies to help him in his new life. The manual explains his initial abilities and the magic spells he can use. Even though he can control all elements, Ryoma finds it hard to master any one of them. He has strong physical and mental abilities, which give him a good start in his new life. Excited to try his new magical skills, Ryoma begins experimenting with the magic he has. His first success is taming a slime, a small but encouraging achievement. Happy with his progress, he decides to make the Ghana forest his home. Over the next 3 years, Ryoma studies slime and builds up a collection of 1,000. These slimes help him with many tasks, like cleaning, healing, crafting, and even taking care of his toilet. His life becomes a routine of gathering resources during the day and defending his home from occasional dangers like wild beasts and bandits. One day, while exploring the forest, Ryoma finds a group of well-dressed people in trouble. They are trying to help their injured friend, Hughes, who has been hurt by a wild beast. The group is worried about their limited magical resources and getting Hughes back to town in time. Ryoma, seeing their problem, offers them some medicine he claims will help. The healer in the group tests the medicine and finds it works, giving Hughes relief and allowing him to rest. Grateful for Ryoma's help, the group agrees to stay at his home for the night. As they head there, Ryoma warns them about a potential wild beast nearby and advises them to be cautious. He leads them to his home, which he has hidden with barrier magic for privacy. The men are surprised that such a young boy lives alone in the forest and wonder if he is a hunter. When they arrive at his home, Ryoma gives them a box of medicine and cold water with ice, which is rare in Sail Fall. The men are curious about his use of ice magic and ask his name. Ryoma introduces himself, and the leader, Duke Reinhardt, introduces himself and his group. They share that Hughes was injured by a black bear during a recent encounter with bandits. Duke Reinhardt then asks Ryoma about his magical abilities and potion-making skills. Ryoma sticks to his story, saying that his grandparents, who were adventurers, taught him these skills before they died 3 years ago. After their death, he tried to go to a nearby village but was turned away as an outsider, so he ended up living alone in the forest. To check Ryoma's story, the men have him place his hand on a testing crystal that reveals if a person is a criminal and provides basic information about them. Ryoma complies and then prepares dinner for his guests. As they eat, the men admire Ryoma's pain resistance and his young age, feeling a mix of sympathy and admiration for his resilience. They decide they can't leave him alone in the forest and think about how they might help him move to a safer place. Reinhardt promises to return after discussing with his family about how they can help. With Hughes stable, the group heads back to town. The next day, Reinhardt returns with his family and retainers. They are introduced to Ryoma, his father, Reinbach, his wife, Duchess Elise, and their daughter, Aya. The family is impressed by the many slimes Ryoma has. Reinhardt asks if the number of slimes has increased since his last visit. Ryoma explains that the slimes frequently split and multiply, which is why he has so many now. Aya, curious about managing so many slimes, asks how he accommodates them all. Ryoma explains that the slimes have a system to manage space efficiently, showing their impressive adaptability. To demonstrate, Ryoma showcases his slime. He merges 100 slimes of the same color to create a large slime with a special ability called minimize. This skill allows the big slime to shrink to the size of a normal slime, making it easier to fit them all in his home. Elise is fascinated and asks how he managed to tame such a large slime, noting it's never been done before. Ryoma explains that, although the slimes appear as one, they have 100 individual cores. Taming each core at once is impractical, so he first tamed each slime individually before combining them. Elise and Reinbach are amazed and suggest Ryoma should join the Tamers Guild to showcase his achievements. The group then goes inside Ryoma's home to discuss things further. As a thank you for his help, they give him a beautifully crafted clock. A member of the Reinhardt family is eager to become a tamer and wants to tame a familiar that day. She is interested in two rare slimes from Ryoma's collection, the scavenger slime and the cleaner slime. Ryoma explains that the scavenger slime eats all types of waste, while the cleaner slime feeds on dirt and grime and removes bad odors. Ah decides she wants to tame a cleaner slime and asks Ryoma for help. Ryoma directs them to a place where cleaner slimes are found and suggests using bathwater as bait. Though Ah finds it unusual, she is excited to try it. They go to the spot, and by sunset, Ah successfully tames her cleaner slime. They return to Ryoma's home and enjoy tea together. Ryoma starts thinking about his future, unsure if he should stay in the forest or explore the world after 3 years of solitude. Encouraged by Reinhardt's father to join them on a trip to the mining town of Gimmel to see the outside world, Ryoma hesitates but considers the offer. Aya shares her first journey experience, saying it was challenging but rewarding. Her words inspire Ryoma, and he decides to go. He packs his things using his dimensional box spell, impressing the Reinhardt family. The next morning, as they prepare to leave, their butler, Seb, uses his dimensional home spell to summon horses and carriages. On their way to Gimmel, they encounter a landslide from heavy rain blocking their path. Fearing bandit attacks, they choose to clear the debris instead of taking a longer route. Ryoma, wearing a special raincoat made of sticky slime fibers, steps up. He uses his magic to turn the debris into solid tiles and clears the road with his slime. The group is impressed by his resourcefulness and clever use of magic. Arriving in Gimmel 3 days later, Ryoma reflects that this is his first town visit since his reincarnation. He explains that his stay with the Reinhardt family is part of their trip to inspect the mines and decide which operations to continue. They visit the local church to get Ryoma's status plate, an ID card showing his skills and abilities. As Ryoma touches the crystal ball in the appraisal room, he is enveloped in bright light and transported to the realm of the gods. Ryoma meets Gain, Lusa, and Kufo again in the realm of the gods. They are pleased with his success in his new life. Gain reveals that Ryoma accidentally created the cleaner and scavenger slimes by exposing them to their elements. The gods also share that Reinhardt's family has a history with Earth, noting that one ancestor married an Earth transfer who aimed to be a tamer. This marriage led to significant achievements, including founding the Taming School of Magic. They mention that their daughter, Ilera, has inherited traits from her ancestors, including combat skills from her mother. They hint that Ryoma might meet other gods in the future, as they are interested in his new life. When Ryoma returns to his senses, he rejoins the Reinhardt family, ready to continue with them. Reinhardt's father praises Ryoma's exceptional talent and suggests he register with the Tamers Guild to build his reputation. Curious about Ryoma's high magic capacity, Ah asks about his current level. Ryoma reveals that his magic capacity is 198,000. With a capacity of 2,000, notes that despite his high capacity, Ryoma manages his magic well, unlike herself, who struggles with control. Seb, a seasoned member of the Reinhardt family, explains that high magic capacity often comes with control challenges, which many users face. He praises Ryoma for his skill in mastering this aspect of magic. Elaine, another family member, asks how Ryoma mastered his magic. Ryoma explains that he developed his control through extensive experimentation and practice. He promises to teach Elaine more about magic control when they train together in the future. After their discussion, they head to the Tamers Guild to register Ryoma. They find out that the guild evaluates applicants based on the strength of the beasts they control. Since Ryoma mainly tamed slimes, he doesn't have a chance for a high rank in this system. They decide to visit the Adventurers Guild instead, which assesses individuals based on survival skills rather than the strength of their familiars. At the Adventurers Guild, Ryoma takes the entrance exam. He impressively hits all 5 targets in the first round and shoots down all 50 moving targets in the second round. The spectators are amazed by his skills. During the exam, the instructor throws a knife at Ryoma from behind to test his reaction to surprise attacks. Ryoma senses the attack just in time, deflects the knife, and prepares to retaliate. The instructor reveals that this was to see how archers handle surprises. Guild Master Worgen praises Ryoma for returning the knife and attempting a counterattack. Worgen explains that he conducted the test himself because Duke Reinhardt and his family were observing Ryoma's exam. He registers Ryoma as a G-rank adventurer, saying he could have given a higher rank, but chose to avoid favoritism and wants Ryoma to advance on his own merits. Ryoma heads to the job board to pick a G-rank mission. Most of the tasks are simple chores like trash collection, house cleaning, and finding lost items. He decides to clean a house and uses his slime to do the work. The next day, he arrives at the client's home, which is near a garbage dump. A catgirl named Mia answers the door, tearful and grateful. She explains that trash from the dump has caused her basement to fill up uncontrollably due to unstable land beneath it. Ryoma starts by dealing with the trash dump, using his scavenger slimes to quickly consume the waste. Then he focuses on the basement, where he uses water magic to wet the area and lets the cleaner slime handle the cleaning. He fills the hole in the basement wall by turning debris into bricks and using a sticky solution from green slime as concrete. He finishes the job efficiently within a few hours. Mia is amazed by his work and thanks him profusely, offering him a bonus. At the guild, Ryoma collects his payment. The receptionist praises his work, noting that the job was tough due to the massive amount of trash. The guild master invites Ryoma to his office and praises him for his successful first mission. He presents Ryoma with a new task, fixing communal toilets that are now unmanageable due to budget cuts. The slums, which previously maintained the toilets, have had their funding reduced, leading to neglect. The pits are full and filthy, with no one willing to clean them. Moved by the situation, Ryoma agrees to take on the job and promises to discuss possible improvements with the Duke. Back at home, Ryoma tells Reinhardt and his family about the issue. Reinhardt's father suspects corruption and is angry about the mismanagement. Elise recalls that Duke Reinbach had previously worked to improve conditions for slum residents, but corruption has since undone these efforts. They thank Ryoma for highlighting the issue and decide to investigate further. Ryoma prepares to tackle the communal toilet pits, which number 30 and are each several meters wide. He puts on a special waterproof cleaning suit and leads his slime into the pits. The scavenger and cleaner slimes start working, and Ryoma uses lightning magic to disinfect the area and prevent disease. As the slimes consume the waste, they evolve and grow stronger, gaining resistance to dark magic, which indicates the pits were contaminated with dark magic. Realizing the danger, Ryoma rushes back to the guild to report the contamination, causing concern among the guild members for his safety. He appreciates their support and asks the guild master to ensure no one enters the toilets until he completes the task. The next day, the guild master assigns a team of adventurers to guard the area while Ryoma finishes the remaining pits. Ryoma works tirelessly for several days and nights, determined to complete the job quickly. As he finishes, he reflects on his past life, where late-night work was common due to his company's exploitation. He remembers his mother, who would always greet him warmly when he came home. Her death left a void that seemed impossible to fill, leading to his growing isolation and difficulty forming meaningful relationships. When Ryoma arrives home, he is pleasantly surprised to see the Reinhardt family waiting for him. They show concern for his well-being, take his luggage, and prepare a bath and dinner for him. Touched by their kindness, Ryoma feels deeply grateful and emotional. A warm hug from Aya, who reminds him of his mother, brings tears to his eyes, filling him with a sense of gratitude and belonging. The next morning, Ryoma wakes up to a lovely breakfast made by Arya, the young lady of the Reinhardt family. As they eat, Arya asks if he can help her with her magic training, recalling his earlier promise. Ryoma agrees and also asks Camel, Sebas, and Elise to help him learn advanced spells. They all agree, and after breakfast, they head to the training grounds. Ryoma starts by helping Arya with her elemental magic. They work on fire, ice, and water spells, turning the session into a fun experience. Ryoma shows Arya how to create sparkler fireworks, shimmering bubbles, and even play volleyball with water balloons. He demonstrates how to infuse water into the bubbles, allowing her to shape them into different forms. This practical approach helps Arya grasp magic better and improve her control. After Arya's training, Ryoma focuses on Camel. They practice offensive spells like fire arrows, water shots, wind hammers, rock bullets, ice arrows, and stun arrows. Ryoma also covers defensive spells to ensure Camel's skills are well-rounded. Sebas then teaches Ryoma complex spells such as teleportation and warp, which Ryoma masters quickly. By the end of the day, Ryoma feels more confident in his magical abilities. The next day, they visit the mines for an inspection and to give Arya some practical experience. During the trip, Arya mentions she will be heading to the royal capital for school soon, which makes Ryoma feel a bit sad. At the mines, they split into two groups, one with the younger members and retainers, and the other with the elders. While inspecting, they come across a large cave mantis. Hughes explains that these creatures live in colonies and reproduce quickly, so finding one usually means there are many more nearby. Arya takes on the mantis alone and defeats it using ice arrows. Ryoma then faces a group of 4 cave mantises, demonstrating his impressive skills. He uses physical hardening to boost his defense and slices through the creatures with precision. After confirming the infestation and exploring the caves, they decide to end the inspection. However, Arya spots a rare metal slime in the distance. She captures it with ice walls and gives it to Ryoma as thanks for his magic training. Ryoma forms a contract with the metal slime, marking the end of their inspection. Upon returning to the Reinhardt family, Reinhardt reports a cave bat infestation in their mineshaft and plans to post a quest in the Adventurers Guild to address the monster problem. Ryoma, observing the red dirt around them, speculates it might be rich in oxidized iron. Using his alchemy magic, he extracts iron filings from the dirt and combines them to create a shiny bar of pure iron. Reinhardt's father praises Ryoma for his innovative use of magic and mentions wanting to introduce him to Serge Morgan, the owner of the Morgan Trading Company. They visit the trading company, where Ryoma presents his unique products, including waterproof cloth, the iron bar, and green slime string. They agree on a profit-sharing contract, with Serge selling these items on Ryoma's behalf. Reinhardt insists that all profits go directly to Ryoma rather than to their family. Ryoma expresses deep gratitude for their support and generosity, concluding the day on a positive note. The next day, the guild's Grandmaster informs Ryoma and the other adventurers that the corrupt individuals involved in the communal toilet issue have been arrested due to Duke Reinhardt's efforts. The Grandmaster announces that their next mission will be to eliminate the monster infestation in the mines, starting the following morning. Ryoma spends the day experimenting with his metal slime, discovering that it is resistant to physical attacks, poison, and sticky solutions, but vulnerable to acidic ones. Ryoma meets with the other adventurers, and they head to the mines for their mission. Outside the mine shaft, the guild master forms teams and explains the types of monsters they may encounter. Ryoma joins a group of B-rank adventurers, including Jeff, Mia, and other beast folk. He reveals that he is currently an F-rank adventurer after his pit cleaning task. Jeff mentions he might rank up to E after the cave monster extermination mission if he performs well. Mia asks about Ryoma's slime, and he lists his collection: 728 sticky slimes, 323 poison slimes, 21 acid slimes, 3,033 scavenger slimes, 11 cleaner slimes, 2 healing slimes, 1 metal slime, and 1 ordinary slime, totaling 431 slimes. The adventurers commend him for his impressive collection and inquire about his weapons. Ryoma explains that he typically uses a bow and arrows, but can also fight with daggers or unarmed and knows several attack spells. Wana, one of the team members, requests that Ryoma focus on dealing with flying monsters using his attack spells, as he is the only team member capable of that. Ryoma agrees, and they soon encounter a group of cave mantises. The battle is brief, as the B-rank adventurers and Ryoma, with his slime, swiftly defeat the cave insects. They continue exploring and discover a colony of cave bats hanging from the cave ceiling. They discuss strategies to handle the large number of bats, and Ryoma proposes an experiment. He uses magic to create a soundproof barrier and then employs a sound bomb spell to bring down all the bats at once. He releases his green sticky slime to devour the pile of bats, successfully clearing the cave. Returning to the mission board, a large crowd gathers as Worgen and his assistant call everyone over. They announce that one of their parties has encountered a goblin horde deep within the mines. According to their information, there is a sizable goblin village in the heart of the mines, housing at least 500 goblins. The plan is to station adventurer teams at every possible escape route to surround and ambush the goblins for complete annihilation. Ryoma and his group join the other adventurers in the assault on the goblin village. Mia and Cilia begin the attack by drawing out the goblins and leading them into a pool of acid prepared by Ryoma. The battle ensues, with Ryoma and the others working together to reduce the goblin numbers, preparing for a long and arduous fight to ensure the village's complete eradication. Initially, the adventurers appear to have the goblin situation under control, but they soon discover that the number of goblins is twice what they had anticipated, coming in an endless stream. The archers start to run low on arrows, and as things begin to look dire, Ryoma steps in with his army of slimes. He sends healing slime to tend to the injured adventurers and uses scavenger slime to retrieve arrows and assist the archers. Ryoma then unleashes a wave of slimes to paralyze the goblins with a sound bomb attack, followed by defeating them with earth needles and slimes. Everyone is amazed by Ryoma's strength and effectiveness, thanking him for his crucial role in the mission. As they celebrate their victory, the goblin leader, a commander, emerges from the cave with a group of hobgoblins. Ryoma quickly assembles his slime and overwhelms them in a powerful assault, defeating the goblin forces. After the battle, Ryoma asks everyone to gather so his cleaner slimes can clean the goblin grime off their gear, which surprises everyone due to the difficulty of cleaning such grime. Mia suggests that Ryoma could make a fortune in the laundry business with his slime, a thought that sticks with him. Later, Lean informs Ryoma that his healing slimes have evolved and now possess advanced healing abilities. The other adventurers gather around to express their gratitude for his assistance. Ryoma has firmly established himself in the Adventurers Guild, and they all head home together. Upon returning, Ryoma tells the Reinhardt family about his decision to move out and become self-sufficient. He appreciates their kindness, but feels he needs to forge his own path and contribute on his own. The Reinhardt family discusses his decision and agrees to let him leave under a few conditions. He must update them regularly with letters, visit them occasionally to prove he is doing well, and seek their help if needed. Ryoma feels fortunate to have met such caring people. Arya adds her own condition, asking Ryoma to meet her again in 6 years during her mid-session break from the Royal Academy. Ryoma agrees, promising to catch up and show how they've both grown. Elise then insists that Ryoma stay with them while he is in town, which Ryoma questions as it seems contrary to his goal of independence. Reinhardt and Elise explain that they will stay until the GR frog outbreak is over, which is essential for their hides and organs. They also invite Ryoma to join them in taming the limmering birds that hunt the granny frogs. Ryoma agrees and expresses his intention to start a laundry business using his cleaner slimes and advertising their effectiveness in removing goblin grime. Reinhardt suggests sharing his business idea with Serge from the Morgan Trading Company, and Ryoma follows through with this. Serge sees the potential in Ryoma's plan and advises him to register with the Merchants Guild for additional support. They visit the guild, where Serge introduces Ryoma to the guild master, Glaicella. Ryoma demonstrates his cleaner slime and explains his business concept. Impressed, Glaicella registers him with the guild and directs him to a plot of land on the main road for his shop. Despite being a burnt-out former bar, inn, and warehouse, Ryoma finds the location ideal due to its proximity to the Adventurers Guild and residential area. With Serge's help, including managerial employees and materials, Ryoma begins constructing his shop using his slimes and building magic. He starts by clearing the overgrown weeds with his scavenger slime and dissolving the old building with his acid slime. Ryoma then utilizes the Create Block spell to excavate a hole, using the gathered materials to form bricks. With the assistance of his sticky slimes, he assembles these bricks into a 2-story structure complete with a basement and a separate dormitory for his staff, all within a single day. Afterward, he paints and decorates both the interior and exterior with tiles, enlisting the help of his adventurer friends. Once completed, Ryoma opens his first laundry business in Gimmel, naming it Bamboo Forest Laundry Service, a nod to his last name, Takebayashi, which translates to bamboo forest. After finishing the main construction, Ara points out that the area around the shop appears empty and lifeless, suggesting they plant grass and flowers. Ryoma agrees, and they proceed with this improvement. During their work, Aya asks Ryoma if he's feeling tired from all the effort, to which he replies that it's nothing compared to his previous job. It is revealed that in his past life, Ryoma used to create anime action figures, a fact that Ludwig might find interesting. Ryoma plans an opening ceremony for his shop and discusses his ideas with Ara and Hughes. On their way back, he stops at the church to speak with Quo, as the other 2 gods are on vacation on Earth. Quo informs Ryoma that his young body is affecting his mind, but it's nothing to worry about, though he advises against overworking himself as he did in his previous life. Ryoma takes this advice to heart and returns home with new plans for the opening ceremony. The following day, Ryoma and Aya, along with the Reinhardt family, practice new timing spells from Elise in an open, hilly area. Elise starts the session by explaining the sensation-sharing spell they will practice. She describes how a tamer forms a contract with a monster, creating a link that allows them to share senses such as smell, hearing, taste, and vision. However, this is not possible with summoning magic, where the summoner imposes a one-way link. Elise then explains they will use a couple of crew birds for practice, as slimes lack the sense of sight necessary for this exercise. They form familiar contracts with the crew birds and practice sharing their senses of sight. It takes a moment, but with Elise's guidance, they successfully grasp the concept. Ryoma notes that it feels similar to trying virtual reality for the first time and is impressed by Aya's talent, as she managed it without prior experience. After the practice, Aya remarks that this is Ryoma's first contract with something other than a slime, and he feels it's quite normal. Aya suggests Ryoma may have an aptitude for taming bird-type monsters. Ryoma inquires about this aptitude, and Reinhardt explains that every tamer has certain types of monsters they can tame more easily. Ryoma confirms his aptitude for taming slimes. Reinhardt mentions that for him, it's a few types of scaled beasts that he can tame effectively, each being quite powerful. Reinhardt also reveals that he can tame almost all four-legged beasts, but has no success with birds, while Aya excels with wolf-type monsters, commanding over 100 beasts, including more than 20 little Fenris. Elise notes that Grandpa Reinhardt is even more remarkable, having tamed fewer than 20 beasts, but over half of them are dragon types. Ryoma is stunned and wonders if Grandpa Reinhardt might be even more extraordinary than he is. Reinhardt acknowledges his luck, but explains that summoning dragons would create chaos in town, so he keeps them on the mountains he owns, maintaining control over them. Elise mentions that her wolves reside on a different mountain, where they protect medicinal herbs from poachers. After making fun of them in 50 different languages and highlighting the convenience of pop balls, they call it a day. Over the next few days, Ryoma prepares waterproof cloth for Serge and practices his sensation-sharing magic with Arya. He then joins his adventurer group at the guild, where they discuss the upcoming GR frog outbreak and the skills needed to tame a limmer bird with Arya's help. As the day of the outbreak arrives, everyone gets ready to capitalize on it and asks Ryoma about the waterproof clothes he used during his communal toilet cleaning mission. He directs them to the Morgan Trading Company, and everyone goes to fill Serge's pockets by extension. On the day of the outbreak, Ryoma heads to the lake with the Reinhardt family. On his way, he encounters Siam's peer, who thanks him for the tip about the GR frogs. The drunk man who insulted Ryoma previously also apologizes for his behavior, and they part on good terms. Ryoma then catches up with the Reinhardt family, finding them observing a family of limmering birds feeding on gritty frogs. Reinhardt points out a man in the distance attempting to tame the birds. The man plays a flute poorly, causing the birds to mock him. In frustration, he throws the flute and draws his sword to attack them, prompting the birds to retaliate with wind magic. The man flees towards the Reinhardts, and a disturbing noise emanates from the limmering birds. Ryoma seems unaffected while others struggle with the noise. Ryoma uses his magic to locate the dark limmer bird and isolates it using noise cancellation magic, sending it away. Grandpa Reinhardt explains that the bird was a nightmare limmer, which appears once every decade. He marvels at Ryoma's ability to identify and remove it. Ryoma attributes his resilience to high mental pain resistance and questions how they will tame the birds now that they've dispersed. The retainers suggest returning the next day, but Arya insists on waiting, confident that the birds will return that day. They wait by the lake until sunset, but no birds reappear. Arya tells Ryoma that it's time for their farewell, as she will be heading to the Royal Academy the next day. Ryoma feels sad about their separation, leading to an awkward moment where he struggles to comfort her. Hughes teases him about hugging and kissing Arya, but Ryoma rebuffs him, stating that he's making Arya uncomfortable. She simply blushes and shyly steps aside. Just then, the limmer birds return, and Ryoma notices their cautious behavior due to their previous encounter. He steps away to let Arya interact with the birds, but she refuses to use his presence as an excuse for failure and plays her violin instead. Everyone watches in silence as her beautiful music prompts the birds to sing along. After her performance, several birds approach her, and she successfully forms a contract with 9 limmer birds and catches a shiny Pokemon. Ryoma then attempts to form a contract with the birds using his guitar. He plays it expertly, causing the birds to form a contract with him as well. The group is curious about his instrument and praises its soothing sound. Among the birds is a rare variant, the nightmare limmer bird. Sebas asks Arya to use appraisal magic on her shiny bird, revealing it to be a rare breed called the phantom limmer bird, which uses light magic instead of dark magic. This marks their first bird-type Pokemon capture, and they reflect on how they are already older than Ash, who remains 10 despite traveling the world countless times without aging. That night, they hold a farewell party for Ryoma to celebrate both his departure and the successful taming of the lemur birds. After the party, Ryoma and Arya share a quiet moment where they bid each other farewell. Arya will leave with her family the next morning, while Ryoma will move to the mines to focus on his work and monitor the mines. Arya expresses her sadness, revealing she has never had a true friend due to her status and formidable magical capacity. She recounts an incident from 5 years ago when she accidentally froze a boy who had offered to teach her magic. Though it was not a major incident, rumors spread that she had done it intentionally, leading people to avoid her. She asks Ryoma if he is afraid of her now that he knows her past. Ryoma reassures her, saying such things happen to everyone at some point, and he is not afraid of her at all. Arya considers Ryoma a close friend and gives him a special ruby necklace she received from her mother on her 10th birthday. She asks Ryoma to keep it as a lucky charm and explains that exchanging gifts signifies they will meet again in the future. Ryoma accepts the gift and, in return, gives Arya 2 of his most cherished slimes, suggesting they will be useful for her life at school. The next day, they all bid Ryoma farewell as they headed back to their hometown. Ryoma thanks everyone for their kindness and assistance and wishes them a safe journey. They reciprocate his well wishes, and Arya reminds him of their promise to reunite in 3 years. She vows to study hard and become much stronger in air magic by then, encouraging him to keep up with his training. Arya then insists they are close friends and that he should call her Aaliyah. With a heavy heart, Ryoma sees them off, feeling saddened by their departure. He resolves to work diligently and grow his business so that he can reunite with them one day, confident and successful. Meanwhile, the gods observe him from their realm, noting that he will miss the Reinhardt family greatly and toasting to his bright future. The next day, Ryoma opens the shop with Arya and the twin managers and then heads to the Adventurers Guild, not expecting many customers on the first day. At the guild, adventurers congratulate him on his new business, and he learns that the guild has posted an advertisement for his shop. Pleased, he selects a herb gathering mission so he can inspect the mines on his way. After completing his mission and patrolling the mines, he returns to his shop, which is packed with customers forming a long line outside. Surprised by the turnout, Ryoma rushes inside to find out what's happening. The managers explain that the shop has been busy due to word of mouth from adventurers, who praise the shop's good prices and ability to clean goblin GR. Ryoma thanks everyone for their support and starts assisting with the shop's operations. They end the day with excellent profits. Concerned about overworking his employees, Ryoma asks if they had any time to rest. The managers report that they were too busy to sit down, prompting Ryoma to decide to hire more staff to reduce their workload. He rushes to the Merchants Guild to discuss the matter with Jella and seek her assistance. The new employees are impressed with the shop's appearance and quickly start assisting. Faye handles customer interactions and laundry collection at the counter, while Ling carries cleaned laundry bags. Their help proves invaluable during the busy evening hours. After closing, Ryoma asks the managers to tally up the day's sales and then takes Faye and Ling to the break area to treat Faye's leg with his slime. He explains that it's his responsibility as an owner to ensure his employees' well-being. They express their gratitude, and Ryoma shows them their dorm rooms, which they find exciting. Carla provides a summary of the day's earnings, which surpass the previous day's revenue. The managers suggest expanding to other towns, but Ryoma feels it's too early for such plans. On the third day, the shop remains busy, and Ryoma contributes by preparing lunch for everyone. They close the day with 1.5 times the sales from the previous day. After working long hours, Ryoma considers hiring additional staff and a chef. He consults with Jella at the Merchants Guild, who agrees to help find suitable candidates. The next day, Ryoma hires 3 new recruits, Fina, Maria, and Jane, who come from the same village. He also hires Selma, a cook with experience from an inn. Jella suggests expanding to a new branch, but Ryoma decides it's still too early for that. They all return to the shop and start working in shifts. And soon, a week has passed since the shop's opening. The business is thriving, allowing Ryoma to focus on adventuring and increasing product production. One day, Serge asks Ryoma to discuss a trading proposition. He explains that Ryoma's steady supply of iron ingots and sticky slime strings has been valuable, and he now wants Ryoma to supply waterproof cloth. With the GR frog outbreak approaching, there will be high demand for waterproof garments and waders. Ryoma sees this as a great business opportunity. He experiments with a cleaner slime by feeding it pure iron, hoping it will evolve into a metal slime, and then heads to the mines with Ara to mass-produce waterproof cloth with his green sticky slimes. While waiting for the cloth to cure, Ryoma makes clay dolls using his magic and craftsmanship, giving them to Ara and the Reinhardt family. Reinhardt suggests that Ara take the dolls with her to school, and she asks Ryoma to make a doll of himself as well. Ryoma continues his routine of making waterproof cloth, training his slime, and managing the shop. His experimental slime evolves into an iron slime, distinct from the metal slime due to its diet of pure iron. One day, Ryoma notices that all the employees are gathered around a table. Carla informs him of major contracts they've secured, resulting in substantial profits. Ryoma appreciates their hard work and realizes he hasn't given them any holidays. Reflecting on his past life, he apologizes and announces that the shop will be closed one day a week, with scheduled holidays for everyone. The employees are thrilled and thank Ryoma for his fairness. After addressing this, Ryoma goes to the Adventurers Guild to find jobs that will help him rank up. The receptionist informs him about a party of adventurers called Pier of Sim. She tells Ryoma that they had captured a rare breed of slime and intended to sell it to the Tamers Guild, but the guild had declined to purchase it. If Ryoma was interested, he could check out the slime himself. Being an avid slime enthusiast, Ryoma promptly went to meet the party of adventurers and inquired about the slime. One of the inebriated members, feeling frustrated due to their misfortune, started to vent his anger at Ryoma, accusing him of mocking them. However, his companions quickly intervened and took him away. The party leader, Shin, then asked about Ryoma's purpose for visiting. Ryoma explained that he was interested in seeing the rare slime they had captured and would be willing to buy it at a premium if it was something he didn't already own. This news thrilled the group, and they presented the dark red, fluid-like slime to him. Ryoma recognized it as a new species he hadn't encountered before and decided to purchase it for 2 gold coins. They expressed their gratitude for the sale and mentioned they had traveled from another town with the slime, hoping it would be a valuable find. Noting the rarity of the slime, Ryoma provided them with information about the upcoming GR frog outbreak, suggesting that they register with the guild to participate in the hunt and earn some fair gold. The adventurers thanked him once more and offered to assist him in any way. Ryoma simply asked them to visit his laundry shop for any future laundry needs. Afterwards, Ryoma took the new slime to the mines and established a contract with it. The slime turned out to be a bloody slime with vampirism abilities, capable of feeding on blood and useful for clearing beast and monster remains. Ryoma welcomed the new slime to his family and then returned to his shop. Meanwhile, the gods observed Ryoma from their realm, enjoying their boba tea, and felt pleased with his new developments and success.